This is what we're laughing at, y'all, right here.
Dude, them toes. Those things are ragged.
All right. Am I doing it this?
Yeah, you're sending it.
Okay.
You already started. Right. So I guess I'm doing the outro then.
Yes. All right. So welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast. This is episode 5. We thank you guys for joining in. We don't just talk about health and fitness, even though these past 5 episodes we kind of have been.
Yeah.
I think the coming episodes you guys will want to tune in because we're going to be talking more about like lifestyle stuff too. So thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about how to structure your workouts for your goals.
Dude, that was a solid intro.
Oh, thanks, man.
That was solid.
Yeah, did I look good doing it?
Yeah. I mean, you always look good, but that's not the point.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, right now you got something in your teeth. Yeah, dude.
Is it brown? I just had brownie. Is it brownie?
You got some brownie in between your teeth, dude.
Oh, hold on, man. Hold on.
You're lucky that's not like a super high definition camera. It was just not noticeable. It's still there.
Okay. Thank you for looking out for me. Yeah, have you guys ever had that one friend that would like let it chill there? You know what I mean? Like that one friend where you're like talking and they notice it and they're like, "Well, I don't want to be rude," but they let you go and talk to everybody else when you got some stuff in your mouth.
Or a booger.
Or a booger. I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had that. You know, but don't you think the not rude thing would be to like tell your friend?
Hey, listen, dude.
Yo, before you talk to anybody else,
listen.
You got some ish in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saying thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Even though it's not noticeable, but thank you for being a good friend.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Oh, I just smashed the mic. We're good.
So, we're going to talk about how to structure your workouts around your goals. Okay, so, were you going to say something?
No. I just kicked the light.
Oh. Come on, man. It took us 3 hours to set this thing up.
All right, come on.
So, were you timing me?
No.
You just hit the timer.
No.
What are you timing? I want to know what you're timing, man. Come on.
The podcast length.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is my cue because I don't have a screen. Well, I kind of do have a screen in front of me, but I still can't see the time because the time's like she can see the time. I can't.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so we can stick to an hour so we're not messing with people's time.
I hear you.
I mean, we've already wasted.
I know. Sorry, y'all. So first thing is first. We have to understand that every single there is no one size fits all when it comes to your workouts. Can you agree?
Yeah.
So
there are certain principles that are overarching, but there's no one thing that everybody should do, regardless of whatever.
I agree. Yeah. For instance, progressive overload. That is
overarching.
One size. Yes.
Yeah.
You use a lot of big words. Overarching?
Yeah.
That means like, is that like an umbrella? Overarching?
Sure. I mean, it could be.
Okay.
I mean,
I never heard it, but I like it. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. All right. Send it.
Can I for free?
Yeah,
can I keep
for free.
That free? Okay.
No royalties here.
All right. So yes, overarching. Arching. Sorry, man.
You're good, dude.
All right.
Just roll.
So progressive overload. Yes, that is a one size fits all thing. Everybody should, no matter what, be using progressive overload, because that is definitely key. But the reason why one workout isn't a one size fits all is because everybody is in a different starting place. Everybody has different genetics. Everybody has different lifestyles, different schedules, different ailments too.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people can't push as hard as other people. Some people have injuries, you know, so you got to take that into consideration. So when we go into this, we're going to be talking about kind of like a general overview of how we would structure a workout, right? If we had a client. So the first things first is you want to know your goal, right? Is your goal weight loss? Is it to get stronger? Is it to get faster? Is it just overall health and wellness, endurance, body recomp? There's so many different goals, right? I have so many people that say, yeah, I just want to lose weight. It's like, well, that's cool, but what else?
No, you don't.
Right, you don't want to lose weight. We talked about that last year.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah.
Weight loss and fat loss are two different things.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, unless you're a wrestler or a boxer or a fighter or something like that, where you need to hit a weight class, you don't want to lose weight.
Right. So we're talking specifically, losing fat. So, very important to really be specific about what your goal is.
Yep.
Because if you go into this thing of, I just want to lose weight, you're not giving yourself something to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how, I guess let's kind of go into like a question and answering type of thing. Like, how would you normally go about setting your goal? How do you identify, when you want to set a goal, how do you go about doing it?
Yeah, so for me, it's usually a lot of things for me are numbers based.
Okay.
Just because I've found that if I train for an appearance, that is extremely discouraging for me.
Okay.
Whereas numbers, they don't lie. 400 pounds is 400 pounds. It doesn't matter, if it's
right
there, here, wherever.
Right.
So I did for a while try to train to appearance, and then I just kind of got really sick of it really quickly because, like I said, I personally never feel like I'll reach the physique that I actually think I want.
Do you think anybody does?
Probably not. No. I mean, body dysmorphia is like a real thing.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody has a little bit of it to an extent.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Like you look at Hollywood movie stars, right? Who, take for instance, we were just talking about the dude that played Superman, Henry Cavill. Cavill.
Yeah.
Dude got out the lake. I told you, I'm like, yo, looked enormous and made me feel shameful for my appearance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's probably a part of him that was like, yo, like seeing him get up out of that scene, maybe he was like, yo, I looked good, but I feel like there was a sliver of him that was like, my abs could have looked a little bit more cut.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure, dude.
There's always like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
In everybody, right?
Yep. Definitely.
I don't think anybody really reaches that appearance. Like there's even people that do physique competitions that are like,
well, I mean, dude, those guys are the hardest judges of themselves.
Oh, big time.
Like, right? I mean, you're sitting in front of a mirror, you're flexing like, well, so my stepfather used to take pictures of himself, and he'd be sitting there staring at pictures of himself, like circling body parts. He's like, this is lagging, this sucks, needs to come up, this is blah 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 blah, I need to lose fat here, blah 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 blah, like going through it and just dissecting his entire body when he was doing the whole bodybuilding thing. And that's, if you want to be successful, that's what you have to do, but that also leads to some severe appearance issues and body dysmorphia and stuff like that, which I would venture to say that almost all of those guys have some form of body dysmorphia.
Yeah, big time. So it's safe to say step one would really, like you want to be laser focused.
Yep.
And you want to be crystal clear on your vision.
Yeah.
But not to the point where, I've listened to so many motivational speakers. They're like, you got to be obsessive about your goals. It's like, that's
well, you got to know what it is first.
Right. And I think that's true to an extent, but not to the point where it like drives you mentally insane.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's not healthy either. So, definitely know where your starting point is, or what your goal is, and get crystal clear on it.
Yeah.
So, say I want to lose fat, but bring in your numbers. I want to lose fat. But I want to get down to 175 pounds by this date.
Yeah. When I was doing the weight loss thing, it was I wanted to reach single digit body fat.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't I want to lose weight to reach X goal. The number that I was chasing was
percentage.
Body fat percentage.
Okay.
So it didn't matter if I weighed 210 pounds or 240 pounds.
Right.
As long as
that percentage was
body
there.
Fat percentage was what I wanted it to be.
Right.
And that was
I think generally now when I talk to clients, I try to get an idea of where. So when they say that they want to lose fat, I kind of ask them like, what's their goal weight? that they would like to be at, because a lot of people will take a rough guesstimate, right? They'll say, well, if I'm 160 pounds now, let's say for a woman, excuse me, if I'm 160 pounds now, I'd like to get to 140, because in their mind, that 140 is them at 18% body fat, which for a woman, that's, it's in pretty decent shape, so they think at that 130, they're going to be 18% body fat. But when they get to that 130, they're really at 21, 22, and it's not the image that they see in their head. So they start chasing the next set of numbers. All right, it wasn't 130, it's really 123. You know what I mean? Something like that, so we're all chasing the numbers thing.
So when I did it, I actually reverse engineered, because I took an estimate up front of what I thought my body fat percentage was. And I was like, okay, so let's just say at the time I was 250 for even sake. So I was like, okay, 250, probably about maybe 20%.
Guessing like what your percentage was at that weight.
Yeah. Yep, gotcha. So I was like, all right, so I'm 20% body fat at 250 right now. Okay. So 10% of that would be 25 pounds.
Yep.
Right, so I need to lose 25 pounds. That should get me to 225. That'll be pretty close.
Yep.
To the 10, then another 1 or 2%. That's another 2.5, 3 pounds.
And you just start tuning it in there.
Yeah, and then so now I'm like, okay, so 225 plus another 2% to get down to like 8-ish would be
public school.
So 225 and then minus 5 is 220.
Okay.
Which actually that's kind of funny because that's where I ended up, but. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I just reverse kind of go into this. I reverse engineered where I needed to be based on my current
your starting point.
Fat. Yeah.
Right. So that's the other thing. So he did 20% body fat. You said 20%?
Yeah, I said 20.
At 250.
Just to make the math easier.
Yep. At 250, right? So he knew his starting point. The other part of the starting point is, especially if you're getting into lifting weights, is what can you actually lift? As a personal trainer, the first thing we do is we assess clients. We assess, all right, when the client says, oh yeah, I should be able to do 215 on a bench press. You put 215 on a bench press for the first time in a long time, or even just after a small season. Like we all know, if you haven't lifted in 4 or 5 months, you go back to try to lift those old weights, it feels kind of heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you put that 215 on the bar and they pick it up like, nope. But some people will try to still go for it, because it's that pride thing, so really understand your starting point and be realistic, right? We don't want to over exaggerate it, because one, it'll lead to unrealistic timelines, and also injury too, so even if we're talking about fat loss, a lot of people will think that they're only 20% body fat, but they're really 28% body fat, so
those are like, that's an important starting point. Calculate, like I would always say to overestimate what you think you are, because you're rarely ever less than what you think you are.
Right. Definitely overestimate. And then from there, like you started to say, was reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
If I want to be this by this time or by this date, what are the steps that I need to do?
We're having some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
20 minutes later.
And we're back.
All right. Sorry, y'all. We had some technical difficulties. My phone, we use our phone to record. And
high-tech operation here.
Yeah, it just completely overheated. So anyways, we're back. So we were talking about reverse engineering. Definitely know your start point. And if you want to be 20 pounds lighter by 8 weeks out, then you just reverse engineer from there.
So with regard to that, like even with the trying to lose fat stuff, we go back to that whole progressive overload, right? What does that look like? So for a fat loss phase.
So we're talking about progressive overload in the gym?
Nah. So I in my mind, when I hear progressive overload, I think it's multiple different things, right? It's So like so progressive overload for a fat loss situation would be, okay, so you're at maintenance calories is 2,000 calories a day, right?
Okay.
So you're gonna bump that down, right, to 1900, right? And then and then you're going to maintain that for a while, and you're going to progressively bump down to 1800, so on and so forth. But the same thing for weights too, right? Like your weights in the gym, you start at you're benching 225 or whatever.
Right.
So you're next week you're gonna do 230.
Right.
A week after that you're gonna do 235.
Yep.
A week after that, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So it can definitely look a bunch of different ways, right? So like Justin was saying, when it comes to fat loss, there are studies that show that you can gain a certain amount of muscle while in a fat loss phase, right?
For newer people, absolutely.
For sure.
For experienced, guys that have been going to the gym for a long time,
not so much.
Ain't gonna happen,
right?
Unless you're taking some sauce.
It's also shown so that it'll happen for new people and also people that have. So let's say you used to be in the gym a lot. And then you took an extensive amount of time off.
Yeah.
And then you came back in. Then it's kind of like considered you're new, but you're not, right? You have that muscle memory going. But if you've just been in the gym, like you said, a lot, and you're in a fat loss phase, you're not really gonna gain a whole lot of muscle. But what would progressive overload look like in the gym in a fat loss phase? Well, before we go into that, because I want to get into how to structure the workouts and then talk about intensity.
That was the original question. We kind of just
what's that?
The whole thing. To how to structure.
Yes. So when you're setting up a starting point, we talk about being realistic, right? You need to also be realistic with the amount of work that you can put in, right? So when we say, I need to lose 1.5 pounds a week, which is a good amount of weight to lose a week. Everybody always thinks, I didn't lose 3 pounds this week, I suck. No.
I mean, you may still suck, but that's not
But 1 pound a week is ideal.
It's healthy.
It is, and to be successful and consistent, you want 1 pound a week. And for us, for a lot of people, that's not fast enough. So they'll do exactly what you're saying. They'll decrease the calories even more. But then next thing you know, they're tired in the gym. You know what I mean? They're losing muscle mass, or they're grumpy and they're not sleeping and they're tired throughout the day, and it just cascades, right? What's the smile for?
I'm grumpy.
You're grumpy?
Well, not right now, but
like
when I go into a nice little deficit, I definitely get grumpy.
You're in a deficit right now?
No.
Oh. Yeah, definitely.
Why? Do I sound grumpy?
You smiled at her. I didn't know if she...
Well, yeah, she has to live with me while I'm grumpy.
Okay, I gotcha. So, yeah, I mean, you start going big too soon, everything else can just fall into shambles.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's how people end up giving up. This is too hard. I can't go to the gym 5 days a week now, and I'm too tired. I can't think straight. Everything just falls apart around you, right? Yep. So when we say be realistic, make sure that you're doing the right amount of work to hit your goal. First, set the realistic goal, right? And then you do the right amount of work to hit your goal weekly, and then hit your goal daily. I think people look at the end goal too much without really focusing on the progress.
Yeah, I know that's a thing for me, for sure. I know I can get, like, let's say if I want to lift X amount of pounds, I can look at where I am now, and then I look at that and I'm like, that's forever away.
Right.
And that's me. Yeah. I've been going to the gym for a while. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
But even still, I get that, like, that little twinge of discouragement.
Impatient.
Well, kind of impatience, but also, like, it leads to discouragement because you're like, oh, it's impossible.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is so far away.
Yeah.
This is what I say to clients when they say, I just feel like I want to be the weight that I am right now. And I hear that a lot, right?
You feel like you want to be the weight
that you want to be right now.
Oh,
like, I just want to get there. I'm like, I understand, and I like that fire.
Yeah.
The time is going to pass either way. It's going to pass either way. Whether you get there or you don't, it's going to pass. If you have a goal of 3 months, whether you get there or not, 3 months is going to pass. So the best thing you can do is just stay the course. Just do what you need to do what's required. We say that a lot. You do what's required every single day you wake up, and you will eventually get there.
Yep. And it's not sexy.
It's not, man.
It's not sexy.
It's not. You know, it's funny. I say that to my kids a lot. Like, they always like, I want to be able to do this and this and this and this. And I'm like, well, you got to do all the boring work too.
Yep.
You know, there's going to be work that you want to do. That's the sexy work. Oh, I want to go in and I want to lift the weights.
Yeah.
I want to hit my PRs, my numbers.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to be able to hit all my foods. I want to see the scale change, the number change on the scale. But then you also just have to do the boring work, which is just doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
just eating and lifting.
Yeah.
Because not every week, you're not going to go in every week and set a PR.
Right.
You got to.
You know what I love? I love seeing all the fitness influencers on Instagram saying, this is what I eat in a day. And they say like the peanut butter pancakes, the protein stacked peanut butter pancakes, and all this other stuff. And it's like, you and I both know they do not eat that on the daily.
Yeah, no.
It might be 2, maybe 3 days a week. Like that's their like, all right, I had time to meal prep.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm eating.
Yeah.
It's not there every day.
No.
You know, unless you got a personal chef and you can cook up like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But 90% of the people, nope, sorry, it's chicken, it's broccoli, it's rice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's the non-sexy foods that get you the results.
Yeah, dude.
And it's repetitive.
Yep.
It's repetitive. People on Instagram are selling these false hopes. It's like, I can still eat like this as long as I get in the gym, which there's some truth to that, right? You can eat whatever you want. One, if you have very good genetics, because let's be real, that definitely takes... You gotta take that into consideration.
Massive.
And if you've been living in the gym, you know, you have to make the gym your second home in order to be able to do that. So you want to make sure that you can be realistic and that you actually can hit your goals of, you know, if you're gonna hit the gym 3 days a week, 2 days a week, it doesn't matter, right? Everybody's at a different starting point.
Yep.
So the most important thing to remember is, what is it that you can do right now? Because like we just said, there's going to be work that you want to do, there's going to be work that you don't want to do, but in order to hit your goals, all of the work is required. Right? You can't just cherry pick what you want to do or don't want to do, because it's just going to extend, and you're pushing that timeline further and further from you, you know? So time's going to pass either way. So you might as well just suck it up, do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, right?
Yeah.
So decide on the amount of activity that's needed to hit your target goal, reverse engineer it, and be realistic.
Yep.
You know, what are some splits that you've tried in the past, or what are some splits that you've cycled through to fit your? Because before you were working midnight to 8.
Yeah.
Right. So for those people that say, I work nights, I can't get to the gym, midnight to 8, and he was still
rolling out of work at 8 o'clock in the morning and going straight to the gym.
Yeah, and we've all done it. I used to work 4 to 2. And I'd hit the gym in the morning, or I'd hit it before I went.
Yeah.
And I also worked 7:30 to 4:30 in the morning. So we both have experience with that, and we've made it work. You know, so what are some splits that you have used to get you through some of those oddball schedules or busy seasons in your life?
Yeah. So for me, the ones that I've done were my own kind of interpretation of a 5x5.
Okay.
And that's when
you want to explain that? What's a 5x5?
Yeah. So 5x5 is, well, my version. I'll explain my version, because that's the only one I really know. I think the other one's based on percentages and stuff like that, and you gradually go up. But for me, the one that I was doing was you basically, so I had a goal if I wanted to hit X weight for a 5x5, right? So let's just say that goal was 315 for 5x5 on bench, for example. When I first started, it was at 225, and this was when I was working midnights too. So started at 225, I would come into the gym, which is, I could do that at the time, probably like 15, 17 reps, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay. Yep.
So I would come into the gym and warm up, 135, 185, and then get into 225 and do five reps at 225 for 5 sets. So that's where the term 5x5 comes from. It's 5 sets of 5 reps.
Okay.
So I would do that, and then every week that would go by, I would just throw 5s on.
Okay.
Then
there's your progressive overload right there.
Yep. Yeah, so I would throw 5s on every week. until, I mean, that's not a sustainable thing. Otherwise, I'd be benching 700 pounds right now.
Right. But you stayed there for a while, as much as you could, right?
Yeah, I think I got up to, for a 5x5, I was 2 or 3 total reps over the course of the workout short of getting 365 for a 5x5.
Okay.
Which sucks. Sad. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I was doing when I first started, because it was just easy for me. Caveman brain, me.
Me lift weight.
Dude. The only I don't have time to sit there and calculate percentages and get out of here. Just give me, just throw weight on the bar. I'll do that.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So that was the first thing that I did, and then from there, when I started to stall out with that, I switched to what is called the Cube method by Brandon Lilly.
I've never heard that, so I'm gonna learn something new. I've never heard that.
So you have 3 days. Well, obviously, 4-day workout week, but 3 separate days. So you have your rep day, your explosive day, and then your heavy day. Okay. So, and it rotates. So, like, let's say week 1 is bench, heavy, squat, explosive, deadlifts, rep. Okay. And then your 4th day would just be accessory work.
Okay.
So, and then the next week would be, all right, so your bench is now explosive, your squat is heavy, and then
you just cycle through.
Or whatever, yeah, your deadlift would be whatever. So you cycle through each of the 3 days. So it takes 3 weeks essentially to get through a full rotation of hitting everything heavy.
And how did that work for you?
That's actually what brought me to when I lifted the most weight that I ever have.
So on 1 week, let's just say week 1, your chest was it heavy?
Oh, we'll say for the sake of the conversation, it was heavy.
It was heavy. So the next,
and that's a powerlifting program, so it's not necessarily like chest, back, wrist. It's bench.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, you wouldn't hit that bench heavy until week 4 or 5. Yeah, let's just say
1 would be heavy, 2 would be rep, 3 would be explosive, 4 would be heavy again. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you hit your chest once on week 1. Week 2, you wouldn't hit your chest at all.
Oh no, you definitely will.
It would progress through the explosive.
That's a whole percentage thing. There's a spreadsheet that you have to kind of make, and then you calculate your weights based on your 1 rep max, and then so you reverse engineer it from your 1 rep max.
Did you hear that? Reverse engineer. Yeah. So it's very important, so we're not so much giving you the steps of this is the workout that works for you. We're giving you the steps on, like, okay, let me sit down and structure my workout that I can stick to, right?
Yeah.
So in this season.
So for me, it actually helped manage fatigue a lot, because you're not hitting everything. Like the 5x5 stuff, I was hitting everything heavy as often as possible, which is great for building strength and muscle and everything like that. You're in a good rep range. It's a great builder, but when those weights start getting pretty heavy, you start getting massively like central nervous system fatigue.
Oh, for sure.
And like all your joints are just getting hammered week in and week out. Like my deload for a 5x5 towards the end of me doing that was I would deload at 315 for a 5x5, and I'm like, that's
as opposed to 3.6. So you were at 3.6. Wait, what was your?
Yeah, 365. Let's say I would try to get 365, failed. I would go back to 315 for a week, 335
on your deload,
45, 65 again.
I gotcha.
So I would build back up. So I'd go back and then build back up and try to hit it.
I gotcha.
Go back, build back.
I gotcha.
But yeah, so you rotate through those, and it helps manage fatigue, because your explosive stuff is like, let's say it's 65% of your 1 rep max, which is not a lot,
right?
Like, and it's meant to be it's meant to be, you come down slow, and you as hard as you possibly can, just fire that thing
violently.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then your rep stuff is just and your heavy is heavy. Everybody knows what heavy feels like.
I feel like once you've done the heavy and you've done the explosive, when you get to your reps, for me, when I do high rep stuff, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring. That's the non-sexy stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But you gotta do it.
That's where you're building muscle. So the explosive stuff, you're building that like just power out of the hole, let's say, right? The rep stuff is you're actually building the muscle that it's required, and then the heavy stuff, you're building that strength. So you're hitting all three ways to lift more weight.
Yeah.
Right.
I also think that rep stuff, you know, like what is the rep range that you had to hit for the reps?
I think it was like sets of 8 to 12,
Okay.
somewhere in there. It might be a little bit less. We can.
I'm kind of thinking, you know, because when you're talking about strength, you know, you also got to make sure that you protect your joints too. Like we've had that conversation. I feel like maybe those reps, because your joints don't have an actual blood supply that go to them.
Right.
But the only way that they do get blood supply to them is if you actually pump.
Yep.
You know, you actually hit those high rep range and move them through the movement. So I'm wondering if, you know, that, you know, you have the heavy, the explosive, and then your reps, and it's literally taking care of every aspect. It's strengthening your neuromuscular system, which is your central nervous system, and then it's hitting your skeletal muscle, the actual muscle that you see. But then it's also protecting your joints by getting something pushed, some type of blood flow pushed to those joints. So
yeah. So that was that program. Got as strong as I ever was. And then from there I moved into for lack of a better term, like a 5-day bodybuilding / like just general health phase. And that's where I was doing, you know, the rucking and training 5 days a week, hitting individual body parts.
Gotcha.
So more like traditional, I think it would be bro split. Right. So like Monday's chest, Tuesday is back and buys, you know, Wednesday, you know, shoulders, tries, Thursday, legs.
So what made you move into that split? Was it a lifestyle change or just a goal change?
For me, in order to, it was a goal change because I wanted to lose more weight, so I needed to crank up volume and just pounding as many calories out of me as I possibly could. So I'd do that with the rucking, and I would also do that in the gym with the weights.
So now you're going back to increasing weight to get your strength.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of this fitness journey I've been doing, going on 20 years now, man. One thing that I've noticed is like it's a lot of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Periodization, dude.
Yeah. You know, and everybody thinks that it's linear.
Yeah. No. If it were
not
linear, everyone would deadlift 1,000 pounds, and
Right.
half Thor wouldn't be that impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
You know, but so we go through these seasons, and this is the periodization and the cycles that we're talking about. Is your goals are, you're never just gonna have one goal and hit it and be done. Right?
Yeah.
As humans, we are naturally goal oriented. Just most of us don't want to do the work.
That goalpost often moves too. As soon as you start like chasing strength and numbers, it's like, you know, I remember I wanted to bench 405 or whatever. It was at 405, right? And I was like, all right, so I got 405. I'm like, all right,
now what can I do?
455, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You move it.
Yeah.
But that's improving. That's improving, you know. And then you went from just being an absolute monster to, you know, I want to go to single digit body fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's the change, the goal changes, life changes. It's constantly changing. So the point is you want to pick something that is going to hit your goal in a realistic timeline and that you can actually do the work.
Yep.
You know, a lot of times I start my clients off with just walking. You know, it's like, okay, you sit at a desk all day. I'm not going to just put you in the gym for 5 days a week and an insane amount of cardio. You're going to quit on me 3 weeks after.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Right. So this is what we're doing. First thing you're doing is you're going to tell me the food you like to eat, and then I'm going to decrease your calories by 500.
Yeah.
First thing we're doing.
Yeah. 500 is super safe and maintainable.
You tell me what you're eating, and I'm not even gonna hit macros right now.
Yep.
You tell me what you're eating. We're gonna decrease your calories by 500, and I want you to walk for a half hour a day.
Yep.
They're like, that's it? That's it.
That's it, dude.
It's not sexy.
Yep.
But you know what? The first 2 weeks, they always drop anywhere between 5 to 10 pounds. Even though if it's water weight,
yeah,
you're moving it.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, any amount of weight that you move, you're taking a lot of stress off of your joints.
Heart.
Yeah, your heart.
That was the other reason too that I wanted to do more of the fitness style stuff is
overall
heart health.
Yeah, overall health. Right.
Yeah.
And that changes, man. You know, so life throws things, schedules and stuff at you, that your workout schedule is going to change. So don't overestimate the amount of work that you can actually do, right? So if it's just decreasing your calories by 500 and walking for a half hour to get started, do it. Just do that, you know, because in order to actually do this fitness thing at the level that you see these influencers or you see these people on a magazine, it is 100% a lifestyle dedication, and it requires getting up early, going to bed on time, making sure that you get 6.5, because I get 6.5, 7 to 9 hours of sleep over here.
8.
You get 8?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I thought you get like 8 or 9, like 9 or something.
Nah, it's more like 8.
Well, it's 8 is 9 to me, so.
And 8 is a 9 to me.
Yeah. You
Anyway.
know, so it takes that. It takes also, you know, being disciplined and making sure that you're eating your meals when you're supposed to, whether you want to or not. You know, so, and the way that you get there is literally 1% better every day. You know, the 1% habit changes every single day.
Trademark GBRS group.
Yes. Yeah. It's true. It's true. You know, you got to hit it every single day. Start off with the non-sexy stuff. Get used to the consistency and doing the boring work. And you'll find that, you know, there's just a certain piece about it. And you're like, okay, I got up, I did my walk, and I ate 500 calories less. That's a win. You start stacking those small wins.
Dude, yeah.
You just want to do more. You talked about it, right? That goal moves. So, all right, I 405, not 455, right?
Yeah.
If you hit those small wins on a 3-week, you know, time frame, at 3 weeks you're gonna say, okay, maybe I can go to the gym one day this week. You know, it doesn't have to be slothfully slow. But if that's what your life demands of you right now, it's better than not doing it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because you're pushing that needle.
Yeah.
And even if you say, okay, well, what's the next step? What's progressive overload look like on a 30-minute walk, right?
31 minutes.
31. Or even if you're walking on an 8 incline, move it to a 9.
8.5.
You know what I mean? Some.
Yeah.
You just
Anything,
move it
dude.
up.
Yeah.
You know, if you say all I have is 30 minutes in the morning, well, the body adapts, right? There's that adaptation. So it's going to adapt to the work that you give it. So within 30 minutes, if you're at an 8 incline and you're at a 2.8 speed, and for the first 3 weeks, that's hard. But then week 4, 5, 6, you're like, wow, I feel like I could just pump this out, no problem. And it's not giving you any work. Bump it up, bump the incline up, bump the speed up, get your body sweating again. You know what I mean?
Throw more weight in the
Throw
rock.
more weight on it. Yeah, throw a ruck on. There's so many ways to skin this thing that there is no one size fits all. It's do what you can, how you can, the best that you can.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
And you know, to quote Mr. Greg Doucette, you know, just train harder than last time, right? That's the simplest way to put it, but it's like that is the essence of progressive overload, and that's all you need to do if you want to be successful and like reach your, you know, maximum potential. Just
a little
move
more,
a little bit, just a little bit. If you, so here, we'll put this into perspective, right? If you're, you know, let's say you want to squat, you know, 500 pounds. Right now you're at 450. If you just add 1 pound per week, you're at 500 pounds within a year.
And you know what the crazy thing is?
You know,
that 1 pound, your body will hardly notice it. Hardly notice it.
Yeah.
It'll adapt so small. And you said 500 pounds in a year?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
just do it. You know what I mean? You'll hardly notice it. And it's the being impatient. You know, people are like, well, that's not fast enough for me. It's like, well, here's the thing. You can either do it in a year or you won't do it at all.
Yeah.
Because that 95% of the people out there, they will either do it or they won't. You know, they'll say, well, year isn't fast enough for me, but they'll give up in 6 months, wait another year to get back to it. So now you're at 2 years, you know what, I should have just did it. I would have had it last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like, just it's patience, y'all.
Yeah.
It's patience. And this is, sometimes you got to learn patience the hard way.
Yep.
You know, it's
Small wins are wins, period.
Yeah.
You know?
And your mind likes those dopamine hits. You know, them small victories. There's that one video that went viral. Maybe I can find it. Maybe I'll put it in here. We'll see. That one that one general, I think he was in the Navy. He was speaking to.
That would be an admiral.
Admiral, sorry, I'm. and I'm a military brat too, you know. So I think it was Navy, maybe it was Air Force, but he was talking to.
Air Force doesn't count as human beings.
Wow, that's messed up.
I'm kidding.
Let's move on.
I'm totally kidding.
Let's move on.
Thank you for your service, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen
yes.
that have served this country. Thank you very much.
Yes. So he was talking to a bunch of college graduates, right? And he said the first thing you need to do in the morning is make your bed, right?
Yep.
He's like, that's a win. Your first win for the day.
Yep.
Make your bed. You know, it's not sexy.
No.
You know, but it shows you discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so every day, even if before you even get to, hey, I'm gonna do cardio for a half hour a day, maybe it's like, hey, you know what? I normally sleep until 6. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get up at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just start setting yourself up.
Yep.
Man, we could take this thing all the way down, you know, to the smallest things. There are so many wins to be had that people are just like, that's not big enough for me, and it's not fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then people just don't do it.
Yep.
They just give up. You know, let's start thinking of, all right, this is reasonable. I can do this now, and I can do it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to what is the proper split for you to do, whatever fits your lifestyle.
Yep.
If you can go once a week, do once a week. It's better than not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then progressive overload.
Yep.
Right? No matter what you're doing, there's that other saying that I say to myself a lot too is, you know, if you train the same, you stay the same.
Okay.
Right? So
Hell yeah.
so one, you know, do a little bit more, like you were saying, a little bit more. If so, what I normally do is I kind of do the same thing that Justin does. If I'm doing my progressive overload, is I'll either do 1 more rep more or 5 pounds more on whatever
Yep.
depending on the cycle or the split that I'm in.
Yep.
You know, I have found that what works best for me is before I move up the weight, I'll try to do more reps of the weight first.
Yep.
If I can do 5 more reps of the weight, okay, throw 5 pounds on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then try to get the same amount of weight that I had before. So if I did, let's just say 225 on bench and I got it for 10, I'll get to 225 on bench for 15, and then all right, 230, and I'll try to do 230 for 10.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just it's a mind game, really. You know, and you just there's so many ways that you can keep pushing that needle. The point is, the needle needs to be pushed.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how you do it. You know, you could do rest pause sets. Push the needle and rest pause sets.
Yeah.
If you do 10, you know, and you really can't get that 11, pause or rack it, pause for a couple seconds. Again, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I can't tell
Push
you
it.
how many times I've like got so close to like finishing out a set on a 5x5, like the last one. It's usually always the last one. You get 4, and you're like, if I go for another one, there's no one here to spot me right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Boop, rack it. Okay.
Stretch.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Boom.
Yeah.
1 done. That's
yeah,
it.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it takes. And you do that every week. You know, and also make sure you rest.
Yeah, dude.
Make sure you get your
So
muscle rips and breaks down in the gym, but it builds when you're resting, builds when you're sleeping. So you have to make sure that if you do have the time to go at this thing hardcore, you cycle in those rest days. That's one thing that I sucked at, because I am that type of person that when I want the goal, I just want to get it, and I go hard until I'm in the ground. You know, until I completely burn out. You know, my old thing is if I wasn't absolutely exhausted after a workout, then I didn't train hard enough.
Right.
And that was actually wrong.
Yep. So the goal is to stimulate, not always annihilate.
Yes.
So I have beef with that statement.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
So for me, dude, most people, I'm not even going to give a percentage, because you know what? I don't know. But I would say more often than not, people will think that they are overtraining or training too hard, and they're not even close.
Fair enough.
So
I can
like
agree.
for most people, I would say, you know what? If you think you're training hard, train a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not.
So I guess that statement would be more for people who actually know their failure point.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Because for me, I absolutely knew that.
Yeah. And you just went straight past anyway.
Well, we talked couple weeks back on the podcast where you're just shaking.
Yeah.
That was me.
You ever get cold?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
dude.
I'd had to sleep. It almost feel like I had a fever.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Train so hard you get cold.
Yeah, and I used to train like that, especially in my 20s, all the time. All the time. And it's only because, you know how, like, people blame their parents for things back in the day? I'm not blaming my father because he knew how to make me a better athlete, but that style of training is what was instilled in me.
Yeah.
Granted, he's special forces, right? So that's how they train, you know? And that's what he...
Do sprints until you puke.
Yeah, and so that's what we did, man. We did hill runs till our legs were no more. And then when we were tired, my dad used to say, okay, you're hopping on your brother's back and he's running. Like, Dad, we just did a mile of hill runs, you know, at age 14. You know
a mile of hill runs 100 yards at a time.
Yeah. You know? So that's the style of training. That's how I knew how to train.
Yep.
You know, after triple sessions, my father would always show up to the field and we'd have another session. Everybody's just walk. Now, mind you, triple sessions were so hard that every day when we came into session, we had to make sure we were hydrated. So we always had to, you know, pee in a cup, and the athletic trainer had to, yep, you're hydrated enough, because there were people that were throwing up and passing out because of how intense it was. So while everybody got to go home at 3 o'clock, my dad's getting out of work, showing up, popping up the back of the van and putting cones out. Okay, Steven and JR, let's go. I'm like, and we had a whole nother hour of training.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I remember, not to go completely off topic, but a set of our friends, they were like, hey, can we train with you guys? Because they saw, you know, how my dad would train us, and he was like, yeah, sure. So that day we were doing stadium runs. And the way we did stadium runs is I would hop on my brother's back, he would run me up, run me down, and then we would switch, run up, run down. And so two of these guys, they're like, all right, yeah, we'll do that. Now, mind you, this is after triples. JR hops on Greg's back. I won't say any names. I'm so used to just saying names. So hops on Greg. It was either Greg or Jeff. Either way, one of them hops on his back, goes up, comes down, and Greg's collapses. His knees just give out, and JR, massive gash. It's either on this knee or this knee. He still has a massive gash from ripping it open on the bleacher seats. You know, so it's like, that's the intensity that I know.
Yep.
So if I didn't feel as exhausted as I did back then I felt like I didn't get a good workout.
Yep.
So it's only now that that I'm learning to, okay, my goal is to stimulate my muscles. If it's muscle growth, my goal is to stimulate my muscle growth without completely destroying my nervous system.
Yep.
You know, because your nervous system is your strength, right? That's why you can see people that are smaller, but they're just insanely strong, right?
Yep.
Like, yo, he's strong. He ain't that big, but he's strong because he has a solid nervous system.
Yeah.
Right? And skeletal muscle, if we're talking about hypertrophy, well, we're trying to increase the size of a muscle. But I always trained my nervous system, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just training straight up hypertrophy.
Yep.
So
what you need, if you want it, so like you can be really small and strong, but if you're bigger, you have more muscle, which also can be scientifically called contractile tissue, which means you have more tissue that you can force a weight through time and space. Right, so you have more fibers that are actively pulling on whatever that is.
Right.
So the more of that you have, the more the load is spread out over your muscle. So therefore, you can move more weight with the same amount of central nervous system recruitment.
That's a lot of science.
That was quite a bit of science.
Did
I am
you
not
guys
a science
get the pen and pad? Somebody write that down. Somebody got a calculator.
Somebody get a calculator.
I'm over here like. But I agree. So I think that's a good point for somebody, and you know, that's I actually say this with my clients a lot. A lot of times when I do workouts with them, I'm always checking their intensity, because a lot of times when they go to the gym, they're like, yeah, I'm lifting pretty good. And then when I go with them and I see their intensity, I'm like, okay, that was not 3 reps in reserve. That was not 2 reps in reserve.
That was like 10.
That was 10 reps in reserve. So let me show you what it actually looks like to go to that extent. And by the time they're done, they're like, yeah, no, I'm not training like that. And when they start training like that, you start to see insane improvements, you know? So Definitely. The goal is to stimulate, not annihilate. But if you're newer to lifting, if you feel like you've hit that wall,
just
go a little further.
Yeah.
Progressive overload it. You know, even if you feel like, oh yeah, 10 feels good. If you're not shaking,
yeah,
get one more in.
And you know what, dude, make a friend. You know, go walk up to somebody, be like, hey, listen, man, I'm going for X amount of reps. Do you mind spotting me?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Just make a friend, dude.
Yeah.
Gym's a super friendly place. Like,
and a lot of people don't think so.
Yeah. Everybody there is there for the same.
Yes.
Most of the time, they're there for the same reason. They're just trying to get better. They're trying to get stronger. They're trying to get whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll understand. No one's gonna like look at you like, oh, you jerk, you blah 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 blah. You're interrupting my workout.
And you're only lifting this much weight. I feel like a lot of people think that, like, I don't want them to see how much weight I'm actually lifting. Listen, you have a different starting point.
Yeah.
We have to remember that everybody is in a different place.
Yep.
I don't lift as much as Justin. I'm in a different starting point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have different backgrounds. I used to be big. My biggest ever, I was 245.
Yeah.
You know?
I might be there right now.
Are you?
Might be somewhere around there. Yeah.
I can't imagine being that big right now, man. My body knows. So right now I'm at 188. I'm at 188.
Dang.
Yeah. So when I hit 200 pounds, my body, I just already know. I don't even have to check the scale. I know. I feel a certain way when I hit 200 pounds. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yep.
I would rather live at a comfortable 190 with good solid muscle definition. And this is kind of my goal. This is what I'm shooting for. I would like to get to a good walk around weight. I don't want to get to 10%. Okay. If I do, cool.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact with my lifestyle, I can't sustain the amount of rest that it would take to live at 10%.
Yeah.
I can't sustain the caloric intake for 10%. I definitely need a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if I can live between 13 and 15% body fat, I'm happy. I'll stay right there and I'll work on bulking a little bit, maybe bulk up to maybe 18% body fat, stack some more muscle, then get back down to 15. So I think I'm going that route. Like, try to just fluff up, gain muscle, back down to 15. Fluff up, gain some muscle. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to go there for as much muscle as I can while living between the 180 and 190 weight. That's where I'd like to be.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say 180? 185 and 190.
Yeah.
weight.
Okay.
That'd be sweet. I saw a guy. I was doing this competition a couple years back. And I knew I couldn't sustain it. I should have never got into it just because of the amount of overtime I was working. But this guy was my height, 5'8", and he was 185 pounds, and he solid. I was like, yep, that's what I want to look like. So that's just been in my head. So that's what I'm chasing.
Yeah.
185. He just looked nice, diesel. He was natural. Supposedly was natural. But he wasn't like chiseled out of his mind. You know what I mean? But I was like, I'll do that.
Yeah. Naturally lean.
Yeah, and that I guess when I looked at that, I was like, that's sustainable for me. You know what I mean? I would be healthy. And he was doing a 3-day split. I was like, I could definitely do a 3-day split. You know what I mean? So some cycles that I've kind of done myself.
I thought you said psychos for a second.
No, cycles. So back in my 20s, the only thing I did was work and work out. I would go to work. I would work out with my buddy Alan. So I'd get out of work at 4:30, and I would have to wait till 6. I used to work out only at evenings. I could never imagine working out in the mornings back then. So I get out of work at 4:30, hit the gym at 6. We'd be at the gym till 8:30.
Yep.
We'd get out of the gym, we'd grab a slice of pizza, or if we'd go to Pizza Hut, I would grab a whole pie, he'd grab a whole pie, and then we'd go to Cold Stone and we'd get the gotta have it size of ice cream. And I was lean back then. I was really lean back then, and I was hitting some really good numbers. But that's all I did. Is I worked out. At that time I was 215, 220.
All right.
So I was decent.
Yeah.
Wasn't doing a whole lot of sprints or nothing.
Yeah.
But my split back then, almost every day was chest day. Almost every day was abs. I did legs twice a week. And we did a lot of upper body, man. Alan had a bad back, so I remember I focused heavy on back days to try to strengthen and kind of like rebalance his back. And I kind of just took advantage of that, saying, well, I'll do it too. So I had a pretty solid back then. And then after that, I got into I started working overnights. That's when I started doing the 7:30 to 4 a.m. and I did a lot of CrossFit stuff, and not so much to where I was like going to metabolic meltdown and doing all that. I kind of had my own thing where I would do this thing called cardio acceleration, where I would hit my big lifts. This kind of sounds like they would interact with each other, right? Like I would hit big lifts, even if it was a 5x5, or if during that periodization time I was doing. So I would do a month of 5x5s, and then my next month I would do 8 to 12. And then the next month I would do 5x5s. And my whole mentality was, all right, I'm going to get strong, and then I'm going to kind of like live there, and then get strong again. And then my 8 to 12 rep range should be stronger than my last 8 to 12 rep range. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's how I would do my workouts then. But in between every single heavy lift. So for instance, when you're doing your 5x5s, your rest time is probably what, 3 minutes? 3 minutes?
It was as long as I needed. I didn't really ever track it.
Right. So what I would do
3
is
to 5. Yeah.
So if I was doing something heavy on the bench during my rest period, even if it's a 5x5, I would do about 1 minute to 2 minutes of bench step ups, just going. You know what I mean? Light, but to the point where at the 2 minutes, I'm dogged. I'm right into my set. I go right into my set.
Okay.
And I would keep that going. And then after I would do that full set, I would then have my 3-minute break to my next exercise.
Okay.
So when I say CrossFit stuff, that's the only way I can explain it. It wasn't so much like a WOD where it's like, all right, I'm doing this, and then I'm doing like the giant sets or the tri-sets, like this and then this and then this. I wasn't really doing that. I was literally stressing both my like the anabolic and the cardio pathways at the same time.
Yep.
And I got good results off of it. I felt really athletic, but after a while, I think I learned back then that I could only do that for maybe 4 or 5 months. The problem is I was doing it for a full year because I wanted to see how far I could push my body.
Yep.
At the same time, because I had that cardio capacity between whatever sets I was doing, that year, did I ever tell you that I ran like just around a 5-minute mile?
Okay.
That was the year that I did it, because that same year I was training with my buddy Mike. He used to do MMA, and I would train with him when I wasn't training with Alan, and he would also, so the way we would structure our workouts is he would put a song on and we'd do these stations, and you'd have to do the station for as long as the song was, and then when the song switched, you'd move to the next station.
Okay.
So so that's how everything that I did was go as hard as you can for a certain period of time.
Someone puts on Freebird. Shit.
Is that a long song?
It's like 9 minutes. Dude.
Oh wow. Yeah. so yeah, but so he had this whole song list, and that's how we would train.
Yeah.
You know, my goal was I wanted to push myself to my capacity, not so much as like how heavy can I lift, but how heavy can I lift while still being functional, fast, and have the endurance, right?
Yep.
Which it's almost like I wanted the whole cake.
Yep.
I got in extremely good shape to the point where I felt like I was kind of on the cocky end, to where I was training with other people from all different avenues, from MMA to just straight up bodybuilding to just anywhere, man, to where I was like, if you can keep up with mainly when I was like training people, like, if you can keep up with me, this session is free, you know, or just I was in really good shape, man.
Yeah.
That was I don't want to say it was like the best shape of my life, but I was there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt like I could have, and anything other than like an Ironman or like a strongman competition,
Yeah.
I just felt like I could go all out for a very long time.
Yep.
You know, and like that's what I say. You know, my mile during that, I remember I went with my ex-wife's father at the time to the Y, and he was downstairs warming up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go hit a mile. And I came down. It was literally like right around the 5-minute mark, man. I don't remember the exact time, but it was like right around the 5-minute mile time. And I was like, that's the fastest I've ever. Now, coming from a kid where in school, I was never an endurance athlete.
Yeah.
Bro, my miles were like 12, 11. You know what I mean? Never. I come out the gate fast. I could hit a 200 meter heavy, hard. After that 200 meters, bro, I'd be gassed.
The other 1,400.
Guys, go ahead of me. Give me a can of corn and a Diet Coke.
Yeah, go on, I'll be fine.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, that was in my 20s. I'd say I was 23, 24. You know, when I met Monica, that was like the tail end of that phase. You know, and I was pretty stout still when we got together. But then
Stout.
Yeah, it was. So then my schedule changed again, and I started working the 4 to 2, and Monica, she was a nurse, so she did 4 on 4 off, or maybe it was 4 on 3 off, rotated 12s.
Yep.
And we all, that new love bird, like, I want to see you all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll go to the gym with you. Well, it's like, no, I go to the gym for 2 hours a day. Do you want to go with me? You know? And she was like, yeah, I'm down. And so that changed to, the 3 days off that she had.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So life changes, man.
Women just bring you down.
Yeah. Nah.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke, dude. Everybody I just got looks from everybody in the room right now, dude.
They bring you down to bring you up. Like the stock market. It's the dip before the rip, bro. All right. Anyways. So just know that your gym schedule will not always be the same.
Right.
It'll change forever. Different splits. I think everybody, you go online and as soon as you type in YouTube, how to or how do I, everybody's opinions show up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It matters what you can do right now.
Yeah. So what is, like, let's just say for somebody new, maybe a little bit of experience, how are you structuring that workout? What sort of splits are you recommending to clients? Like, what's like a good overarching, we're using that word again. What's a good, like, overarching, basis to start from? Be like, all right, so if you can make it to the gym X days a week.
3 days a week.
3 days a week.
If you can make it to the gym 3 days a week where you can do a push, pull, legs and sustain that, I think that is a good starting point.
Yeah.
But what I always say, it depends on your goal, right? If you're looking for fat loss, I would say if you can make it to the gym 3 days a week, push, pull, legs, the other days of the week, you need to be walking.
Yep.
You need to be walking. If you need to, personally, first, I would say before you get to the gym, establish your walking. Establish the walking, because that's what you're going to be doing all the other day. That is what's going to get in the way the most. That's going to be the most inconvenient, right? So I would say establish your walking. I don't care if you're walking your dog, but what I normally say is, out of all the days that you're walking, right? If you're walking 7 days a week, I want you to have 3 days of formal walking, right? Where it's you're on an incline, you're on the treadmill, or you're doing some type of walking exercise, interval walking exercise, hills, speed walking, doesn't matter what it is, something that is the exercise.
Right.
And then the other is just regular walking. If you're going for a walk with your husband, wife, your dog, whatever. But you need to have one of those days needs to be a walking where it's the workout.
Right.
Because people think, oh, I do 10,000 steps a day, but you're just walking around your house.
Right.
You're not sweating, So you need to have a minimum of 3 of those days need to be the exercise walk. The other days need to be, okay, go for your walk, get your steps in, and then you need your 3 days of push, pull, leg.
Yep.
Currently, like what you want to work up to is where, all right, in the morning I do my treadmill walk, and at night I go for a walk with my kids. And then three of those days are at the gym where it's like, okay, I hit the gym, I do my walk, I do my workout, I go to work. And then at night, I walk with my kids. You know what I mean? So for me as a parent, I can get up in the morning and hit my stuff. Like take care of myself before I take care of everybody else, right? That's how I look at it. It's like that airplane analogy. Put your mask on before you help somebody else put their mask on, right?
Yep.
So I get up, I take care of myself so that I can serve and take care of everybody else.
Yep.
Right? If I don't do that, I'm in a mood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, A, you're in a mood. B, you're making yourself weaker and therefore less capable of defending, protecting, serving the people that you love.
Exactly. Very good point. Very good point. But also as a parent at night is when your kids want you. You know what I mean? So we have family time. I make sure in my Excel spreadsheet, 6 to 8, that's supposed to be our family time.
Did you change them all to like green and yellow yet?
No, on my Excel, on my planner, it's red. Don't touch.
Yep.
But on my lists, I am gonna change them to green and yellow.
All right,
I am. I like that. I really like that idea. It's like that mental
Yeah.
There's no failures here.
Yeah, dude.
You
The
know?
mentality is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like if you can trick yourself all the time.
For real.
It's a great thing.
For real. There's
Yeah.
that saying, how you see things, how you do things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 100% true.
It's
You know
also
what I mean?
it's also like a mentality thing, dude. If you have a what's the word I'm looking for? There's a specific word. Anyway, it's a mentality thing. We'll just leave it at that.
All right.
I'm sure there's some set of words that I meant to say and I just can't figure them out right now.
Yeah. So, long story short, the goal should always to be efficient, right? Being well-rounded in all areas of strength, to agility, to mobility, and flexibility, right?
For general health and fitness, absolutely. However, those things are going to get sacrificed if you're going for all out strength or all out whatever.
Yes.
You're gonna sacrifice.
Right.
It's one of those like little like you ever seen the charts that's like a big circle and it's got those little the lines and it connects in the middle and yeah. That's always going to be a sliding scale.
Sure. So let me extend on that a little bit more. So there's gonna be cycles and seasons where you're going through strength.
Yep.
Right. There's gonna be cycles and seasons where I'm cutting fat.
Yep.
At the end, there's really no end, but the goal is to keep pushing that needle more and more closer to, okay, I am stronger, I'm fitter, and while I'm increasing my strength, I can move this weight more functionally, more fluid.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't want to have junk weight and you don't want to have garbage knees if you're trying to squat, right?
Yeah.
Because you're only as strong as your joints will allow you to be, right? If you could have insanely strong quads, but your knees, you ain't holding you up. You know what I mean? So the whole you have bad knees?
Dude.
Really?
Well, at least right now. They weren't until after I tore my hamstring, my right knee, after I tore my left hamstring, my right knee had to cope with that for like 3-4 weeks of like just limping on my right leg because I couldn't take time off of work.
Yep.
So yeah, my right knee is
overcompensated.
I'm still trying to get this thing sorted out.
Is it right here? Where's the pain?
Yeah, patellar tendon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like right at the base of the patella on the tendon. It sucks. It sucks.
ATG split squats, bro.
Yeah, I've tried, and those just inflame it 10,000 times worse. Yeah.
There's a different one. There's a progressive overload form to that, which I'll show you after. Maybe we'll film it. It's what I used because mine also was really, really bad from kneeling on concrete when I was doing wiring, kneeling on boards when I was doing framing. You know what I mean? And just using improper boots standing on concrete all day. And just not lifting.
Got them Red Wings, dude.
Do you?
No, I'm asking.
I'm
making
I had I guess you call them Red Wings. I had the Irish Setters, which I think is a brand.
They might be a little
Wings?
underling of Red Wing.
Yeah, so
maybe.
I had Red Wings.
They're the great value Red Wings.
so these ones, they were actually the only ones that took my knee pain away.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but it was a different. I went into the safety.
We're getting into the blue collar stuff now.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. So I went into it's health. It's health though. It's knees. You know. When I started working at my one job, working for the grid, I was wearing Timberlands at the time. And because I went from doing cable and electric, which I didn't need a certain brand of boots. I was just wearing Timberlands.
Yeah.
I was working over here at the grid, and I was inside. on concrete all day, and I kept having this insane knee pain, dude. It was excruciating. I could only lift my foot off of the ground or bend my knee back maybe a couple inches. I was leaning so bad, and my boss was like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yo, my knee for the past 2 weeks have just been screaming." And he was like, "Well, you shouldn't be wearing those boots." And for the longest time, I was like, "It ain't the boots." He was like, "Listen, we get a boot allowance. Go down to Safety Warehouse and get your set of boots. Get the Irish setters." He said, "Go down there, tell them that you're on pavement all day, and they'll tell you which ones to get." So I did exactly that, and within a week, that went away.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's insane, you know. So I've had to try to rebuild the muscles around my knees to take that pain away, because that's a lot of it. That's what it is. I know that you probably have a little bit of a tear.
I don't know if it's a tear or if it's just straight up overuse and inflammation.
Yeah,
probably. And it's like to a point where I can't fire my quad correctly.
Really?
Like it just so whatever the thing is, my body is telling my knee that it's going to explode, and so it prevents this. Like if you put me down on a leg extension machine, like this leg over here, I just do, and then this one over here is like 5 reps, and then I'm shaking.
Yeah,
it just won't fire.
So this is the stopping power of the knee. Oh man, I'm horrible. I need to know these muscle names, but this is the stopping power of the knee, the right on your shin. That's the stopping power, and then your VMO, that's the pulling. So stopping, pulling. If one of these is weak, which a lot of times it's this one, because a lot of people don't work that flexion.
Yep.
That starts to get weak, and that's where a lot of that stress starts to go on that tendon, because it's overloading one way, and this isn't stopping or taking the stress from the opposite force. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
So in order for me to fix mine, I had to do the non-sexy work. It was stupid.
Shin lifts.
Yeah. No, it's not even that. It's almost it's simulating stepping down the stairs with an elevated heel.
Okay.
And you'll see, you'll hear people say knees over toes, and it's exactly that, because so when you are doing your quad extensions, when does it start to hurt? Like right before it goes over the toes? Like if this is your knee, this is your foot, right before it starts? Or is it full?
No, it's probably like at parallel. So if I'm doing a leg extension, it's probably like right about,
and then it
like there, and it just starts to go. Nope, I can actually feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crackling. A lot of fluid around there.
Yeah, dude. There's there's a whole it's a whole thing.
I'll show you after.
I'll be going to like probably one of these days. Hopefully, I'll be going to like a pain management thing, and
all right.
Hopefully they can get rid of the nerves in there or something.
Singe it off.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's called a nerve ablation.
Yep.
And,
yeah, Mom's had it a bunch of times. I've just been, me, man. I've been a huge joint freak, especially my age. I'm 37. Yeah. I have to start looking at them things. I started this is a pretty cool. So this is my new I worked this into my split. Have you ever heard of Tricon sets?
No.
So Tricon sets, you do a lot of them are 3 to 5 rep range, right? But let's just do 3. So you're doing 9 reps, right? 9 total reps. So the first 3 reps, you're doing explosive reps, right? So let's say you're doing biceps. You go slow and then explode up for 3 reps. Then the next set of 3, you're doing isometric holds. So you bring it up to where the highest point of where the load is, and you hold it for 10 to 15 seconds, and then slow, and then come back up, hold it. That's your isometric hold. And then the next is slow count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All while focusing on squeezing, and then you set the weight down. I can't tell you how different that is. One, because you're so used to 1, 2, and just getting that pump, pushing that blood. But being able to hit that muscle from every angle like that is insane. I don't know why I haven't done it before. The mind-muscle connection that I make during those sets, and feeling them in each different way is insane. It's insane. So if give them a try sometime.
Roger that.
Give them a try sometime. They're pretty good. Very good on the joints, while still getting a good pump.
Right.
So it's good stimulation. Yeah, so y'all, I hope that you got some good stuff out of this. Just remember that it's always going to change, and the goal is done is better than perfect. remember that. Just do it. Even if your mentality isn't perfect at the time, even though the reps aren't perfect at the time.
Yeah.
I know I've heard you say plenty of times, just move the weight. Just move the weight. You know, sometimes we can make things too complex.
Yeah.
You know, well, what's the perfect rep range, or, you know, how many calories do I need? What is the perfect angle? It's like, just move the weight.
Ready for this? Great story. So real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. But stepfather, he was a very, very, very gifted individual in strength sports and then, you know, bodybuilding and stuff like that. He worked in Gold's Venice, right? So he was one of the employees there. So he got to see, you know, people all day, every day. You know, what do I do for blah, 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 blah. So one day he's working out. He's a big dude. He's got a presence, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's short, but he's a big dude. But yeah, so somebody came up to him, and, you know, he's just having none of it, right? So somebody comes up to him like, hey, so how do I get big, right? He just looks over. He's like, lots of weight for lots of reps, and then just carries on with what he was doing.
Yeah. It's that
like,
simple.
It's like, dude,
bro, there's so many people that are like, all right, I gotta wait for life to settle down for the perfect time. I gotta find the perfect trainer.
Yeah.
I've been reading all the books for the perfect diet. Yo, just run.
Yeah,
just walk.
Just go
get
lift
there.
a weight. Just
That's
go
it.
do a push up, something.
Stop overthinking it. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Just do something.
All right, man. You got the outro. I did the intro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Peak Performance Podcast. If you can, if you want to, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscription, or subscribe.
Yeah, I'd definitely love to hear the comments in this one.
Yeah, dude,
for sure.
Please. Absolutely tell us, you know, what sort of training splits y'all like, what sort of, you know, give us some success stories, some failure stories.
I'd even like to hear maybe even some disagreements. You know, we don't
civilly in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Civilly.
We don't.
If you're calling people names, you know, you know what? Just have at each other. Just send it. You know what? Just if you get into fist fights.
Listen, we're creating a positive environment around here, man. Listen, so I'd even like to hear some disagreements, but with some evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love to hear what other people have to say. The only thing that bothers me is they're like, yep, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then tell me what is.
Yeah.
You know?
Or give me a reason why.
Yeah.
I'm more than willing to learn.
Yeah.
I'm more than willing to hear your story.
Yeah, and that's cool. It may have worked for you. Might not work for me.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different.
Yep.
Everybody's at a different starting point, different journey.
Yep.
So.
All right, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. See you later.